there's some NFL news going on. We haven't talked about it a ton. Haven't talked about it at all in a while, because we are in the off season. All right, but there are a couple of things going on. So Saquon Barkley, first of all, for the running back for the New York Giants. Of course, he's in a contract dispute. He wants a long deal. The Giants they gave a lot of money to Daniel Jones, the quarterback, and Saquon has really been the heart and soul of the team. But as we have talked about in the past, man, this running back market it's even more crazy than what it was last time we talked about it. It's really robust. The NFL is really saying, hey, we don't give a damn about you guys. We can find another Saquon in the 6th round and pay him a fraction of what you're asking for right now. And that's really tough, especially for Saquon, who is, top 3 running back. I mean, he's at the top of his. He's not a also ran guy who's just up for.
Well, he had a great comeback season after a couple injury riddled seasons, and so on both sides of this, like. The reality of the running back position is a harsh reality, but it's a reality. You look at Saquon Barkley, and he knows I've had an injury-riddled career up to this point. I just had a great season. The team seems to be on the rise. I want to lock in as much money long-term as I can.
Right now.
Because he knows firsthand, I can go down with an ACL, I can go down with this and that and not play regularly. But guess who also knows that? The New York Football Giants. And they don't want to be tied down to a guy that may play or miss more games than he plays over the next 2 or 3 seasons. And then, regardless if he plays well or not, is going to be in decline. Because running backs don't last long.
Yeah, and a bunch of others.
And that's the problem with this. And it's real on both sides. There's virtually no way to get around it.
No.
But again, from the team perspective, this does represent some measure of growth in that now they're seeing these things more clearly. Like, what is the value of a player? What's the value of a position? And that's the way that it goes. I mean, you look at Le'Veon Bell, like he did the contract holdout to stand down for running backs. And it effectively ended his career. He sat most of that year, and he was never the same player again.
No, absolutely not.
Not even
absolutely
close.
Not.
And so, again, what are you going to do there? The Steelers wouldn't allow the gun to be held to their head in that situation.
No.
And I think the Giants are going to do the same here. And it's going to be, how far does he take this?
You take it all the way.
Sit out a year and never be the same again?
You fucking take it all the way because you just have to. Now, here goes the thing. If I'm the players, right? If I'm the running backs, right? Because not all players have this gripe. But if I'm the running backs, I'm taking this to the NFL PA or whatever the team thing is called. And I'm saying, okay, we need to change the financial rules. It's just not fair for us anymore. We have to fight. So what they should do is remove the rookie scale for running backs only. So running backs that get drafted, you can pay them whatever the hell they're worth. Because if you're saying if you're going to use us for the first 3 to 4 years of our career and then throw us away in the fucking trash can, we should be able to earn a maximum amount of money on our first contract. Right? Because we're not going to see a second or third one that is lucrative at all anyway.
It's extremely tough.
It's tough, but they have to do it.
But running backs are already valued differently in the draft. It's rare to get first-round running backs.
Anyway, yeah, one or two.
So
now.
You're already there's already a built-in thing. And a lot of the running, a lot of positions, period, but it's hit or miss. So you're going to draft a running back at the top of the 2nd round and then have to negotiate with him off the rookie scale.
Yes.
How many teams are going to do that?
Doesn't matter how many teams are going to do it.
And how much leverage does that guy have at that moment? The trick to this would be a renegotiation option if you meet certain criteria after year 1.
Okay.
Because we don't know when we draft a guy what the hell he is.
Anyway, yeah.
Now, running backs tend to show themselves early. a rookie running back making waves. That's something.
Yeah.
And it's like, but the problem
is
they can, then they could be sitting there locked in a 4-year whatever deal, and they can't renegotiate. The club has absolutely no incentive to renegotiate at that point,
Right.
and they're stuck. But the fix would be to somehow create, an answer after that first year. That they
but
the
incentive for the team is though that's one extra year. I mean, and I understand what you're saying, but like running backs, the good running backs, man, there's not a high percentage of them that don't work out. But I understand that reality is there for some. But you remember it wasn't too long ago where they didn't have this rookie scale for any position.
Right.
Remember Matthew Stafford? I think was the last class.
Yeah, but if you have the scale for all the other positions, which what you were essentially proposing, but not running back, then it creates.
And I like the
tough.
1 year thing. I'm not against that. That's a compromise. We're compromising on this new proposed rule here. And if we're going to present this to the NFL, I'm fine with presenting this to the NFL with the 1 year thing there. I like that.
It's because to me, at the end of the day, the reality of the running back position is not fair to the running back in comparison to other players.
Right.
And can the league, or is there a genuine interest? Can the league, within the confines of the cap and the players, collective bargaining agreement, work something out that kind of levels that in some way, or moves it closer than it does? And so I don't know. That's tough. That's really tough. But again, like you're a guy, like if you're a high school kid or a college kid, like at this point, my advice is don't play running back.
Yeah.
Don't play the position.
They're already saying. I talked to a few high school coaches and things like that, and also we had when we had Brandon, another guy on, from Florida Elite.
Yeah,
right.
No, the Central Florida or West Orlando
Jaguars.
West Orlando Jaguars. Yes.
The Florida Elite is the league. But anyway, a lot of those guys, they're going to cornerbacks and receivers. Receivers really was the first position they named, but receivers and cornerback. Yeah, man. I don't disagree.
But the other thing is you look at a couple guys. You look at like Deebo Samuel and stuff like that. And it's like, the fullback position has already essentially been phased out of football for the most part.
I thought about that last week.
Can you almost phase running back out to the extent that you're finding hybrid skill position players with different attributes that serve as running back but also in other roles, and that you kind of get away from the notion of the 20 to 25 carry a game back.
You know who does that? The Atlanta Falcons guy.
His name escapes me right now, but I had him on the fantasy
Cordell
team.
Patterson.
Cordell Patterson, yeah.
Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, and Deebo, and like again,
Deebo,
those guys are like good enough, diverse enough that they kind of can get outside the confines of running back pay and running back expectations. And it might be something that honestly it may be a thing where guys kind of come into the league in a hybrid role, and then as they kind of age, they age into more pure wide receivers and extend the career. I'm just looking at a couple of examples and things like that, because again, if you're a fantasy football guy, more teams than not operate with multiple backs.
Yeah.
Anyway, the notion of the 25 carry a game back.
It's only a couple of backs.
Already
Saquon and Tennessee Titans Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry.
It's probably it's a handful.
Yeah, there's a handful. So it's already not what it once was.
Right.
And again, from the team perspective, if I'm going to, play 2 or 3 different running backs in various situations and formations, that dilutes the pay even more because it's running back by committee.
Look what happened to your guy, Dalvin Cook, a guy who's
unceremoniously waived,
a guy who's been really successful,
performed at a super high level.
At a super high level. They just said, we just
waive you,
just don't need you.
And as of this show, he hasn't signed somewhere, and I'm sure he's in that situation where his expectations and demands are much higher than the market's yielding, and where's that going to end? I don't know. It's probably going to end at him signing a short-term prove-it deal or what have you. And again, he's a guy. He's had an ACL. He's had some other issues. How confident are you of doing that?
Yeah.
You know, and the other side of that, like, is you look at like McCaffrey. He does as much work, you know, out of the backfield as a receiver as he does running the football in a traditional running back sense.
Why not just go to fucking receiver? Like you said, just do the Debo thing in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might be the trend in football. And I do feel like kids are looking at this. They're not blind, and they're going to be like, Coach, I don't want to play running back. I'd rather play wide receiver. You know, let me go play this other position.
And what's funny is back in the day, everybody wanted to be running back.
But you also, but I mean, yeah, but like, again, you know, when I was playing Pop Warner football and young football, like, we didn't throw very much.
Yeah.
Like, we ran the hell out of the ball.
Yeah.
Like, and that was the thing. And so that was the way the game was played. You know, our friend B. Rich, his son is 6 years old. Son Bo is 6 years old. 2 days a week, he works with a quarterback coach, throwing the football. And I was at his house the other day, and his son throws a tight spiral every ball. Oh, I mean, it's like a conveyor belt. They just come out, and everyone's a tight spiral, and it's pretty much putting it on my hands. The kid's 6 years old. It's like that's the way things are going. So, you know, he's in a setting at 6. He's playing flag football now, and they're looking to throw the ball.
Oh, man.
And he actually, I was talking to B. Rich about this. He had kind of talked to a couple of these, tackle teams, and the quarterback coach was actually kind of saying, hey, you got to be careful what team you go to, because you don't want him to be in a situation where all he does is turn around and hand the football to people. You know, you want him to be in a situation where he's throwing the ball a healthy amount of times per game.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, that's where the game is. I mean, 7-on-7 is a huge thing, and it's literally all throwing.
Yeah.
And catching. So the game of football is changing, and I could foresee a time where you don't really have the traditional featured running back on really any team. And it's going to go from both ways. Teams are going to get away from it tactically. Also, guys are going to get away from wanting to play that position because of the financial disadvantages of it. And it's going to kind of become extinct at some point.
It is. Now, also, something that we've kind of been talking about, the Netflix NFL quarterback series drops today. It's on Netflix today, so of course I
just finished Suits in time.
There you
go home and watch an episode.
Yeah, so it's on Netflix. And one of my favorite clips, I couldn't put it on here because Netflix will have it taken down.
Oh boy!
But they show where there's a small clip where they show Mahomes talking about the playoffs and how they were, as a team or whatever, they were watching the Bengals and Buffalo, and they were asking him, like, you know, who do you want to win? Who do you want to play? And he was saying, well, you know, I think Buffalo would be the easier team. I'm surprised they even let him say Buffalo would be the easier team, or whatever the term was he used. But I want the Bengals.
Okay.
You know, I want the Bengals. You know, whatever, talking a lot of trash. You know, that's when they came out with the Burrowhead. Burrowhead Stadium.
Yeah.
The Chiefs Stadium is Arrowhead. And he was like, yeah, I want the Bengals, man. I thought that was.
That's really why Pat's who he is.
Yeah.
Because he when he said that, he knew damn well 0-3.
Yeah.
That was in his mind, and that's why I guarantee you, without having seen the clip, that the reason, if he wasn't 0-3 against Pat Mahomes or against Joe Burrow, he wouldn't have said it.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. That's what being a competitor is. It's not running from the fight. It's running to it.
Running to the fight.
It is.
Yeah.
100%, man. I love that.
Yeah.
The more that guy talks, the more I like him. What I can't stand, though, is his family photos. Him and the annoying wife. I've never met her, but she just seems annoying in the still photograph.
Yeah. She you know how that stuff goes. She's going to become more famous as time goes on, just because.
I know. He needs to do a Russell Wilson to trade her in. Get a better model.
They said Russ is going to completely turn this thing around, man.
How?
Huh?
How?
That's what they're saying. They're saying he's looking really good in camp.
With Sean Payton?
Yeah, with Sean Payton.
Which which begs a couple questions. Like why the hell wasn't he ready to go last year?
They saying he was out of shape.
Why?
They're saying that's the main thing, that he was out of shape and he couldn't run. Because, Russ is a guy he does his best work outside of the pocket.
Yeah.
And, they say he couldn't really get outside the pocket because he was out of shape, overweight, and he's already lost, 20-something, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And he's in much better shape. But why?
It still begs the question. Like, what he basically leveraged himself out of Seattle, gets to Denver, which he kind of, had some confidence in selecting, and then you show up out of shape. If that's really the thing, that's crap.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a duty to show up in shape.
Yeah, well, especially when they overpay you.
Yeah, I mean, they paid.
They gave him an extension when they just absolutely didn't have to. Like, it wasn't time. It was just, hey, here goes an extra $80 million.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. But again, I don't think people were thinking Denver was going to beat the Chiefs or the Bengals necessarily. But, when he got there, there was a feeling like this should go well.
Yeah.
And
it was a train wreck.
Established quarterback. They had some young receiver pieces and a decent running back. I mean, and it was just garbage. They were as bad offensively as any team during the year.
Yeah, they were.
In the league.
Were. And also, Deshaun Watson is reportedly looking good. Him and Amari Cooper, his number one receiver, have been working out a ton together. They have a great rapport. He's a guy that really needs he needs a turnaround.
He does. I mean, he was out of football for so long.
Yeah.
And then sat, the first 10, 11 games last year? He was just not in any position to play good football.
Yeah.
And this is a massive year for him. I mean, he gets paid either way, and the bag is secure. But, as far as football-wise, this is a massive season. He needs a comeback player of the year type of season to get back on the radar as, a respected guy.